And with a presidential election that is still too close to call, mail-in ballots will be critical.
From the Mayborn School of Journalism at the University of North Texas, this is NT Daily News.
Good afternoon, I'm Madeline McCrory.
And I'm Martha Bratcher.
Voter registration ended yesterday. The next step is early voting here in Texas. NT Daily reporter Matthew Watson reports.
UNT boasts more than 40,000 students on campus. Many of those are registered here in Denton, but not all.
Do you know where you're going to be voting at?
Yes, my hometown.
Okay, where's that?
Rockwall, Texas.
Okay, nice. Do you know what's on the ballot?
Besides the presidential election, I don't really know anything else besides that.
Okay, why are you voting?
I'm voting because it's like a civil duty. You gotta vote. Every vote is important. Every vote matters. So.
Okay, are you registered to vote?
I am.
Okay, do you know where you're going to be voting at?
I am probably gonna early vote on campus. I'm actually still trying to find out where the voting takes place on campus.
Okay, that is actually at the Gateway Center. Do you know where that is? That's located like halfway across campus. Monday, October 21st is the first day where you can come and early vote. The Gateway Center at UNT is one of the few places near campus where students have access to early voting. What's your opinion on why it's important to vote?
I think in any representative democracy, the power is on the people, and thus the responsibility is on the people.
With NTTV, I'm Matthew Watson.
Early voting begins in Texas later this month. Both presidential campaigns remain in high gear. The CBS News program 60 Minutes continued its tradition of offering sit-down interviews to the major candidates. Former President Donald Trump turned down the opportunity, telling the network he was not comfortable with their fact-checking, and instead talking to supporters at a weekend rally. Vice President Kamala Harris used the opportunity to emphasize a promise to work on unifying the country.
I believe in building consensus. We are a diverse people, geographically, regionally, in terms of where we are in our backgrounds. And what the American people do want is that we have leaders who can build consensus.
But from the very beginning of this journey, I've been on a mission to rescue our country from a failed and very corrupt political establishment, very corrupt. We have to change it. We have to change it. We need also a very free and open press.
Ahead of the November presidential election, lawyers representing the Republican Party are challenging aspects of mail-in voting, especially in crucial battleground states. Mail-in and absentee voting reached new levels in 2020 during the pandemic. Swing states like North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Nevada, and Michigan are still seeing a high number of mail-in and absentee voting. It is unlikely that any of the legal challenges can change current voting procedures, especially in states where mail-in voting has already begun. Observers say the suits are more likely to be part of an effort to challenge the outcome in those states.
The Supreme Court began day 2 of its fall term hearing the latest case involving federal laws and guns. In today's case, the 9-member court heard lawyers argue that so-called gun kits should not be considered guns that are subject to existing federal rules. The government says these kits should contain serial numbers and buyers should be subjected to background checks. The kit makers say that's not practical. The case will likely be decided next spring.
A 1-year-old boy remains in critical condition after an attack by multiple dogs at a home in suburban San Antonio. The local sheriff's office says the 36-year-old babysitter was arrested and faces a first-degree felony charge for allegedly leaving the baby supervised only by her 13-year-old daughter. Police say it appears the dogs forced their way into a room where the girl was supervising the toddler. They say the girl tried to get the baby away from the dogs. When she couldn't get the baby to safety, the girl called for help and barricaded herself. It's not clear how long the girl was left alone with the child or how long it took emergency services to get there. The toddler was rushed to the hospital with severe head and throat injuries. Doctors expect the child to survive, and the dogs were removed by county animal control officers.
Florida is barely recovering from Hurricane Helene.
And Hurricane Milton is already knocking at the door. NT Daily continues after this.
The do's and don'ts of the Pole Rec Center. See that man over there? Please do not hog weights. Instead, do this. Another important part is having an attentive spotter. See, here is an example of a non-attentive spotter. Instead, do this. Now we head to the track, which should be pretty easy, just it's important to pay attention to the way the track goes. Remember to wipe down the equipment after you're done using it. The towels are provided by the gym, so it's pretty easy to wipe down the equipment when you are done. Thank you for using the Pole Recreation Center.
Hurricane Milton is now a Category 4 hurricane. Even though it is forecast to weaken before it makes landfall, it will double in size, meaning its disastrous impact will be felt over a much larger area. Ivan Rodriguez is in Tampa with the latest on the storm and evacuation efforts.
This is literally catastrophic, and I can say without any dramatization whatsoever, if you choose to stay in one of those evacuation areas, you're going to die.
Dire warning from the mayor of Tampa as authorities beg people to evacuate ahead of Hurricane Milton.
This hurricane's pushing me out.
For some, like Sheila Lokisano, this hurricane arrives as they're still trying to clean up from Hurricane Helene less than 2 weeks ago. This time, Sheila's not taking any chances.
It's not going to be easy to leave, but I am leaving.
The storm is projected to weaken and make landfall as a Category 3 near the Tampa area on Wednesday, packing 120-mile-per-hour winds.
Been to the point where I'm literally looking at every item in our home and deciding, do I take it or do I leave it? And the thought of it just floating in the water somewhere, it's really hard to bear.
The state of Florida also suspended tolls on major highways and are allowing drivers to use the shoulder on those highways to allow evacuees to be able to get out of this Tampa area a little bit faster. This morning, Tampa International Airport also suspending operations. Sarasota's airport will be closing this afternoon. In Tampa, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
Today is the last full day residents can evacuate Tampa before Hurricane Milton hits. Florida state officials expect this to be the largest evacuation since 2017's Hurricane Irma.
The cleanup continues from Hurricane Helene's wrath across 6 states. At least 235 people died, according to current reports, and damage is estimated in the billions. Across storm-ravaged North Carolina, roads remain washed out from what is now called the second most fatal hurricane to strike the U.S. mainland in the past 50 years. Scenes like this across Georgia and South Carolina show acres of trees that will need to be cleared. The data analytics from CoreLogic estimates losses at $47.5 billion, roughly half of that coming from uninsured flood losses.
2 major hurricanes in the same region in a short time span have put a spotlight on the insurance industry. Karen Kafa is in Washington with what homeowners need to know.
Parts of the southeastern United States haven't recovered from Hurricane Helene, and now here comes Milton.
This could be the worst storm hit Florida in over a century.
It's a reminder to regularly review home, renters, and auto insurance policies and note what may have changed.
Not just mold, not just water, but deductibles. There's even hail limits. So at least give yourself a fighting chance by knowing where those gaps are.
The insurance industry has been hit in recent years by more frequent disasters and inflation. That's led to a jump in homeowners insurance rates, 11.3% last year, according to S&P Global. And Amy Bach, executive director of United Policyholders, says insurance companies are using more defined technology to assess risk.
Aerial images, data mining, predictive models. And all that technology means that they have been fine-tuning the wording in their policies.
Bach says when disaster does strike, document as much damage as is safe to do so and keep a daily journal of recovery steps.
Who you talk to, what their phone number is, what their email is, what just notes to kind of keep yourself on track.
Home buyers can also keep natural disasters in mind before signing the dotted line. A new tool from the home shopping website Zillow shows how vulnerable properties for sale might be to extreme climate events with data on flooding, wildfires, wind, heat, and air quality. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
According to the Florida Insurance Guarantee Association, 16 insurance companies have been liquidated since 2017.
Amazon's Prime Big Deal Days have returned from Tuesday, October 8th to Wednesday, October 9th, giving members a head start on holiday shopping. For the third time in fall, the sales event offers exclusive access to deals across a number of popular categories. Members of Amazon Prime can look forward to lower prices from top brands such as Dyson, Lego, and Bose for 48 hours. TikTok is one of the most popular social media platforms on campus.
More on new legal battles the platform is facing when we come back.
Hey UNT, the State Fair has finally arrived, so mark off your calendars, get your nicest cowboy hat, and join us here on Wednesday the 16th because we're going to be hosting 3 different live shows from the State Fair. Our 2 English shows will go live at noon and at 6 p.m., and our Spanish show will go live at 3:30. We'll be showing you some of the most iconic events as well as some behind-the-scenes action, so make sure you don't miss it. Come join us at the State Fair of Texas, where the sight, sound, and flavors of Texas come alive on October 16th.
Haunting in the depths of NTTV studios. Something special is brewing just for you.
Hey ghouls and goblins, NTTV News is having a special Halloween segment this October 31st. We're also covering 31 days of Halloween in Denton. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be spooktacular.
Looking to open a free checking or savings account but don't know where to start? Check out DebtQ Credit Union right here on campus. Get your Mean Green debit card instantly or apply for a DebtQ Visa credit card today. Your school, your card. Plus, make deposits at their 24/7 ATM, checks or cash whenever you need it. Make sure to sign up for DebtQ's online banking platform and mobile app for easy access anytime, anywhere. Visit them at www.debtq.org to learn more. DebtQ, the official financial institution of UNT Athletics.
TikTok is facing more legal troubles. 14 states filed lawsuits claiming that the social media platform is harming children's mental health. The lawsuits allege that TikTok uses an addictive content system that prioritizes profit over children's health. They claim it's designed to keep minors on the app for as long as possible, which helps the company boost ad revenue. The complaint also alleges that TikTok's beauty filters can cause body image issues and other mental and physical health disorders. TikTok says safety features like limits on screen time and parental oversight tools make the platform safe for children. Still out there, a pending federal law that could force the Chinese owners of TikTok to sell their U.S. operation.
The fall season is a beautiful time of the year with us finally getting some cool weather. However, these changes bring on seasonal allergies. The seasonal change may not be so obvious walking around campus, at least not yet. The Student Health and Wellness Center does offer shots for students who are under the care of a doctor. The symptoms are pretty clear.
I started sneezing more, eyes are consistently puffy, everyone, it was bad. At work I wasn't able to go outside because of it, so.
The nose spray helps a lot, and then I believe it's called cetirizine or something like that.
Outdoor allergies, so depending on what kind of trees and stuff are in the area, as well as dust inside, if it's a place that hasn't been cleaned in a while, that is a big trigger for me.
Information about the Student Health Center is on the website studentaffairs.unt.edu.
In Denton, if you're looking for some family fun or a night out, the downtown square is the place to go. Construction on North Locust and North Elm Streets on the square has altered downtown business and affected the community.
Downtown Denton is a hub of activity. Shoppers file in and out of stores as employees at local businesses greet them, creating memories and spending time with friends and family. Denton resident Sierra Kendall brings her mother downtown to give a taste of her home of 6 years. Sierra is grateful the city is making improvements, but recognizes it can make it harder to enjoy.
There is less parking, obviously, so that's a little difficult. My mom does have trouble moving around, so that's a little hard, but I'm actually really excited for the construction they're doing because the roads were really needing the touch-ups.
Sierra and her mother began with brunch at Cartwright's before making their trip around the square and then stepping into recycled books, records, and CDs. For decades, this store has sat in downtown, entertaining shoppers with stories, music, and more. Store associate Axel Severs thinks the construction on the square allows it to
do justice to how popular and populated the square is.
Assistant manager for the City of Denton, Christine Taylor, knows the importance of maintaining downtown for the entire city.
The square is the heart of our city. It's what we sell. It's unique. It's our identity. So maintaining that infrastructure where it's easy for people to come downtown and navigate and traverse across the entire downtown is very important.
For Downtown Ambassador Isaiah Lee, maintaining the square is his mission because as a lifelong Denton resident, it's
somewhere that really represents their home the best it possibly can, because it's something that's just so itself.
Construction on these roads initially completed on September 12th, 2 weeks earlier than expected. But after failing an asphalt test, construction may be disrupting traffic in the area again soon.
An American professor is one of 2 men receiving the 2024 Nobel Prize in Physics for their work on artificial intelligence. The Nobel Committee announced Monday that Princeton University professor John Hopefield is being given the honor, alongside Geoffrey Hinton, who teaches at the University of Toronto. The two are praised for their foundational discoveries that enable machine learning with artificial neural networks. The chair of the Nobel Committee for Physics says that as a result of their work, artificial intelligence has now become part of our daily lives. The prize carries a cash award of about $1 million. After nearly 7 decades, the Tropicana will no longer dazzle the Las Vegas Strip. Tomorrow at 2:30 a.m., the iconic Tropicana Hotel will be demolished. The Tropicana's removal clears the way for a new baseball stadium to host the Athletics. Team officials say they expect to begin construction early next year, with completion in time for the 2028 season. Mean Green basketball is around the corner.
A big season ahead for the Mean Green women, when we come back.
Craving something fresh, flavorful, and made just for you? Look no further than Avesta, your go-to destination for a delicious, full-service dining experience. Dive into our customizable omelets, expertly crafted by our talented cook Jonathan, who guarantees every bite is perfection. All our dishes are handmade, prepared with only the freshest ingredients. Explore our assembly line where you can choose from any of our globally inspired dishes, or customize your plate. It's that easy. And let's not forget dessert. Indulge your sweet tooth with treats from Clark Bakery. With convenient payment methods including card or flex, it's the perfect dining spot for any occasion. Quench your thirst with our wide selection of drinks. Just hand your drinking card to our friendly waiter, and they'll bring your beverage of choice right to your table. When you're done savoring every last bite, our attentive staff will whisk away your tray. Enjoy the peaceful ambiance as you dine in, or use our takeout option for a meal on the go. Avesta.
There's no harm in wanting to have fun while in college, but it's easy to lose track of how much you've had. Apps like Drink Control and Alkadroid can help keep track of your consumption and blood alcohol levels. If you or someone else does drink too much, the signs of alcohol poisoning are as follows: pale skin, vomiting, confusion, low body temperatures, irregular breathing, blacking out, and is hard to wake up or cannot be woken up.
Dude, are you okay? Hey, what's wrong? Wake up.
It's an exciting time of year, but it's important to be responsible. If you suspect someone is suffering from alcohol poisoning, get help immediately. You will not get in trouble for seeking help if you are underage. For more info and resources, go to UNT's Division of Student Affairs.
Live from UNT, it's Wheel of Culture!
Welcome back to Wheel of Culture. Our contestant is so close to solving this puzzle. But first, it's time to give the wheel a spin. Wow, you landed on London, one of the many places where you and your fellow students can go on a chance to experience new culture. But only if you can solve this puzzle.
I'd like to solve the puzzle. Study abroad.
That's correct. You just won yourself a trip to study abroad in London, England, and you can too. Just go to studyabroad.unt.edu to see deadlines and apply for scholarships. Get ready to study abroad.
Has this ever happened to you?
My bike! My bike is gone!
Stolen bikes are an epidemic sweeping college campuses across America.
What am I supposed to do?
It's quite simple. The We Mean Green Fund has partnered with the UNT Police Department to offer free bike locks to any UNT student with a bike. Just show up with your bike in tow and ask.
Now I'll never lose my bike ever again.
Enough worrying. Get your bike lock today.
Now, I don't know if you've been watching sports lately, but over the weekend I saw some pretty crazy things happen, especially with football.
You know, I don't usually keep up with sports, but they definitely have just been headline after headline. But our sports anchor, Mason Brandom, might have a method to the madness.
Thanks, guys. You know, today we're starting our live newscast, but for Cynthia Marshall, her time as the CEO of the Dallas Mavericks is sadly coming to an end. Marshall announced earlier today that she is retiring from her role as CEO on December 31st of this year, and will move to more of a consultant role. Marshall was hired back in 2018 by Mark Cuban and was the first African-American woman to be head of an NBA team. Cuban said that, quote, bringing Cynthia to the Mavericks 6 years ago was one of the smartest decisions I've ever made. College sports are in full swing, but one sport that yet has to start their season is women's basketball. I caught up with some UNT women's basketball players and their coach to talk about their upcoming season.
UNT women's basketball season kicks off here in a couple of weeks, and I wanted to ask what the goals for this season were and ask a couple players and their coach how they would achieve those goals.
Chase greatness, man. Chase the best version of ourselves. That's going to be my message all the time, man, is just chase greatness. You see on my shirt, the gas tank, man, the premium gas on. We're just trying to be the best version of us every day.
The goal is always winning conference and, you know, go dancing and stuff like that, winning the conference tournament, stuff like that. So, I mean, I guess it just goes along, again, with how we practice, how we are out on and off the court with each other and stuff like that. Again, like the team bonding and team chemistry, that's very important. Like we said, we got to have depth, you know. Like I said, I think chemistry is like just the strongest part.
Honestly, just staying consistent, like never letting our heads down. If we have a bad lull or whatever, like we just gotta keep our heads up. You know, just keeping that same energy we came to start with and what we ended on last year.
I asked a couple players what level of coach they thought Coach Burton was, as well as asked Coach Burton what his message was to his team going into his second season.
Honestly, I feel like he's a high-level coach. Like, he's a coach that obviously wants his team to do good, and he just wants the best out of all of us.
I think it speaks like very highly of him because him coming in last year and it being his first year and like us playing the way we did, we had a whole new team. He brought in 2 players and we basically just had to build new chemistry. You know, us building that through the season and it being good and we're able to like to play together and look like a great team with him being our new coach, I think it's great and it speaks very highly of him. Shows how good of a coach he is.
Chase greatness here and then have them leave this place and go be great. And so, you know, we can't control always whether the ball goes in the bucket or the wins and the losses, but we can control our effort, we can control how we prepare, we can control just what we do every day. And that's what we're going to do, man. We're going to do a damn good job of preparing these young women to be great, and they're doing a damn good job of working at it.
The team's first game comes on October 30th in an exhibition game against Midwestern State at the Super Pit. Last Saturday, college football saw one of its more upset-heavy weeks of the season, including one that no one saw coming when #1 Alabama traveled to Vanderbilt for an SEC matchup. 6 minutes in the first quarter, Vandy running back Cedric Alexander would take the inside handoff and with the help of his teammates would score his first rushing touchdown, giving Vandy an early 7-0 lead. On the following Alabama drive, quarterback Jalen Milroe would look to find his receiver, but the pass would be tipped up into the air and picked off by Vandy linebacker Randon Fontenette, and he would run the pick back 29 yards for a pick 6, giving Vandy a 13-point lead. With 4.5 left in the first quarter, Bama running back Jam Miller would answer the touchdown by Alexander, giving Miller his first rushing touchdown of the game, cutting into Vandy lead, making it 13-7. Moving to the second quarter, Alexander would score his second rushing touchdown of the game on 3rd and goal, and it would extend Vandy's lead to 20-7. With about a minute and a half left in the first half, Miller would again answer Alexander and would give Miller his second rushing touchdown of the game and make the score 23-14 going into the half. Moving to the third quarter, Milroe would take a direct snap and run to the left side for a 14-yard rushing touchdown, Bama's third rushing touchdown of the game, and make the score a one-possession game yet again, 23-21. Later in the quarter, Vandy quarterback Diego Pavia would fake an inside handoff on 4th and 1 and deliver an absolute strike to wide receiver Junior Sherrill, extending Vandy's lead to 30-21. On the next Alabama drive, Milroe would find the 17-year-old sensation Ryan Williams, who would spin out of a couple of tackles for a big, huge 58-yard touchdown, cutting back into the Vandy lead, making it 30-28. After Vandy putting up 3, making it 33-28, Pavia would throw his second touchdown of the game, this time to tight end Cameron Johnson from 6 yards out, extending Vandy's lead to 40-28. With 3 minutes left, facing a 4th and 1, Milroe would give an end-around handoff to Williams again for a 2-yard rushing touchdown. It was Williams' second touchdown of the game and Bama's 4th rushing touchdown of the game, making it 40-35. This, however, would not be enough to lead a comeback as Vandy would get their first win against a #1 ranked opponent in program history and snap their 23-game losing streak against Alabama. It's October, which means postseason baseball is finally here. One of the most entertaining series this year is the New York Mets taking on their division rival, the Philadelphia Phillies. After the Mets took Game 1 in the series, they looked to continue their postseason surge in Game 2. Mets third baseman Mark Vientos would boost that surge by hitting an opposite field 2-run home run in the top of the third inning to give the Mets a 2-0 lead. Later in the top of the 6th inning, Pete Alonso would also build on his own postseason surge as he would also hit an opposite field home run, this time a solo homer, extending the Mets' lead to 3-0. Still down 3-0 going into the bottom of the 6th inning, Phillies superstar first baseman Bryce Harper would help wake up the Philadelphia crowd and bring the energy back into the home crowd as he would hit an absolute moonshot of a 2-run home run to deep dead center field, which would allow the Phillies to cut into the Mets' lead, making it 3-2 and revive the Phillies' offense. Next batter, Nicholas Castellanos, would show Bryce and the Philly fanatics that he too could hit moonshots as he would hit a solo home run to deep left center field, hitting back-to-back home runs with Harper and helping the Phillies tie the game up at 3 apiece. Top of the 7th, Mets outfielder Brandon Nimmo would show off his own elite power skills as he would hit the Mets' 3rd home run of the game, as well as their 2nd solo home run of the game, and give the lead back to the Mets, making the score 4-3. Moving to the bottom of the 8th inning, score still 4-3, Phillies second baseman Bryson Stott would deliver a clutch postseason at-bat, hitting a line drive into the right field corner, allowing both Harper and Castellanos to score. Stott would slide into third for a 2 RBI triple, putting the lead back into the hands of the Phillies at 5-4. Next batter, JT Realmuto would hit a slow roller to Vientos, who would try to throw Stott out at home, but would bobble the grounder, allowing everyone to be safe and making the score 6-4. In the top of the 9th, Vientos would make up for his mistake in the previous half inning and make his own clutch postseason moment by hitting his 2-second home run, giving him 4 RBIs for the game, tying the game up at 6. Bottom 9, 2 on, 2 out. Up comes Castellanos, and he would send the Fanatics home happy by crushing a line drive into left field, allowing Trey Turner to score from second and give the Phillies a walk-off win in Game 2, tying the series at 1 game apiece. Game 3 will be played tonight in New York. Man, postseason baseball sure does make me hungry, but New York does have some pretty good restaurants. Do y'all on the desk have any good recommendations?
Well, Mason, you are in luck because today is National Pierogi Day. You can celebrate the day by ordering pierogies at a Polish restaurant, make your own pierogies, or host a Polish-themed potluck meal.
The semicircular Polish dumplings are made of unleavened dough that's boiled and then baked or fried in butter. They are stuffed with all kinds of great stuff like potatoes and cheese, and there are endless possibilities.
Dessert pierogies are stuffed with fruit and can be covered with maple syrup, chocolate sauce, whipped cream, or applesauce.
That's all for this week. I'm Madeline McCrory.
And I'm Martha Bratcher. NT Daily is back again next week.